What's happening, traders? Welcome back to another video. So today we're looking at GJ. I've got something lining up on the charts here. It's quite an interesting one, so I'm going to run through the reason why I'm going to take the trade, and I'll also take the trade if those reasons play out. So let's do it. Alrighty, so jumping onto the charts, what we have is an interesting setup. So we've got about 2 minutes. I've got about 1 minute and 43 seconds to explain this to you before I have to action the trade, potentially, if that comes about. Now what we have here is we have the Asia lows and the Asia highs, okay? This is annoying, but these are different sized fonts, so I'm just going to change that. There we go. And what we've had today was a breakout of the Asia lows. Now I actually took a trade here on the 1 hour today. I didn't record this one, this was out and about. But basically we had a price action setup where we had a bearish candle, bullish indecision candle, and then the next candle respected I broke out the lows and I took a sell coming down to this area here. But what we're looking for now is price to break back into the Asia range and look for price to fill the range, potentially take out buy side liquidity up the top here. Another good interesting thing is that the daily candle is currently on its flipping point. Okay, now we've had obviously a push up today, we've had a push down today, and the push down is the last or the latest wick, as you can see from what we looked at before. We've just been down and now we're coming back up. So we've got a good sign that if we do close back inside the Asia range, that the daily candle is going to want to flip bullish, as it's kind of doing now, and then maybe continue up after creating this bottom wick, and then continue to the upside. Now also what we can see is we had a big move down, okay, but then we had a push back up, and then we got a new higher low technically from this low, so hopefully we can look for price to push up a little bit. Now if we go back to the chart here, we've got 14 seconds until the candle closes. What I'm looking for is for this candle to close above this white line, which I think it's going to do unless we have some crazy movement in any second. And then I want the next candle to break above the high here. Now if the candle breaks above the high, I'm going to take a trade, and it's going to look a little something like this. I'm going to get my stop below here. I'm going to go for a 1-to-1. Maybe even a 1-to-2 probably in this situation. I'm going to go for the 1-to-2 because I think the price is going to want to continue up and take out our buy side liquidity above the Asia highs here, because we've taken out the low and clearly don't want to be down here. We've also taken out this major fair value gap on the 30-minute, which is the last one in the zone. We had one here, but that got taken out by this wick to the left here. We got none down below here. There will be some on the lower time frames, but on the 30, that's been taken out, and price is looking like it wants to continue to the upside. Now the only thing we do have here is a little supply zone, which is the area which pushed price down, breaking us out of the lows. But in my rules, if we close back inside the zone and we break above a candle's high on the 30-minute, that is a buy for me, and I'm going to take it. Okay, what I can also do is, if we do get triggered into the trade, this candle may not even break the high and it may close back outside the low, in which case this trade is invalid, and there's nothing to be taken here, and likely you won't see this video because I'm not going to take a trade after that. But if we do break above this high, then I'm going to take the trade, and we're going to look for price to fill the Asia range from today. Overall, if we go to the weekly, we can see that pretty much we have been in an insane upward trend overall for quite a long time on the yen here. And actually, if I go to the week onto the monthly, we've got an interesting setup here on the monthly, you see. So we had this big bullish move, had a bearish indecision candle, and then this weekly candle could potentially flip bullish, break above this high, and then take us up to these highs here, up to 195, which is a big price action setup for us. So bias really for the yen is bullish, because we've come down here, created a low, and now we're pushing back up quite strongly, and hopefully we can push up, break out this high, and break up and continue. Now this is a very bullish pattern. As you can see, price tried to come down, didn't want to do it, closed back up here. Okay, we've tried again, and now we're pushing back up, and if we do break above that high, then that is a sign that potentially for the next week or two that the yen is going to continue, the next month or two, this is a monthly monthly chart, that we're going to keep pushing up. So we're looking for quite a short-term trade in comparison to a monthly chart, but it's all good to look at these things and make a good decision. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I like the fact that we've made a bottom wick, or we're creating a bottom wick. So if this candle now over the next 30 minutes can flip up bullish, break out that high, then we get triggered into the trade, and then we can look to create a better risk to reward for ourselves by bringing our stop loss closer on the lower time frames. But let's see how this goes. We are flipping bullish now, but I'll come back if we get an entry in a minute. Okay, so I've just been uploading our previous video, which was trading actually in the same trading session. Look at that. We are triggered into trade, and we're going to take this trade right there. Okay, looking good. So yeah, sorry, we were just trading the ICT strategy, which we caught a lovely trade on. We actually lost one but gained 1% on the other, which is great. So if you haven't already, check out that video after this. But I just came across this trade here, which is looking fantastic, so I had to take it. And we've just got triggered in now. So that thing that I said happened, which is where we came down, kind of retested the low here, created a bottom wick, flipped bullish, and broke out and closed and broke above the high, which is a great sign for us. Now, we're looking for price to potentially come up all the way up to the 60 pip point, about 59.7 pips. And what we can do now is kind of go down to the lower time frames and see if we can find somewhere where we can bring our stop loss to a more sensible point. And I'm actually going to bring it just below this 5-minute candle here. Now, interestingly enough, we have a really nice price action set up here. Now, if you are a member of the Discord or member of the channel for a while, you'll know what that is. I will be making a video on that very soon. But that is beautiful right there. We could have got a 5-minute entry here and been done. But I'm going to take this 30-minute entry because hopefully we can gain a little bit more on this. So what I'm going to do is actually bring my stop loss just below here. We're going to take a 20 pip stop, which is down below there, and we're looking for obviously a 60 pip gain. So this is a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, which is fantastic. Okay, we're risking about 1% on the trade here. So hopefully we can get a nice push up from here, and yeah, fill up that range. Now if we go to the daily candle, we can see that we have flipped bullish quite nicely, and I think that now we could potentially want to push up a little bit more and maybe look to break out the highs. And obviously on the monthly, this is the high that if we can break out on top of there, then that's going to be looking good for us to keep going for the next couple of months, maybe, well, at least over the next month or whatever, because that is the exact same setup as I just showed you here on the 5-minute. On the monthly, we've got that bullish candle, bearish indecision candle, and then the bullish candle respecting the low, flipping out the highs. If that happens on the monthly, then likely we'll get moves up as well. So my overall bias here on the yen is bullish. We have got this area here, but I think that this isn't really going to hold. We may get a turnaround from here a little bit, but I think that we want to come and take out the liquidity off the top here, off the liquidity here. We've got also this equal high liquidity up here, which is the top of the Asia range, which we clearly don't want to be out there because we've come back inside right now. So hopefully we can keep on moving up. So I'm going to come back with an update to this trade soon. I may look to take some partials along the way. I mean, if we're looking at a 20 pip stop, we could look to take partials at a 1-to-1 here, which would be quite nice, as I've actually put quite a large trade on this one. It's a little bit higher than 1% risk, because I knew that we could bring our stop up. So it is 1% risk now, but it's actually, when we had our 1-to-1, it would have been a little bit more down here. So let's see how it goes, and I'll come back with an update, hopefully a good one. Quick update for you guys. We had a pullback a little bit. Okay, filled in a fair value gap on the 5-minute. Now, what I'm going to do is, if this candle can break above this high, which obviously would be fantastic, and that's what we want, I can then bring my stop loss below this candle here, because then that is another price action setup, much like this. And in this situation, I'd have my stop loss below the bearish indecision candle. So I can bring my stop right below here, which is going to give us an even better risk to reward ratio, because if we do break out below that low after this, then it's likely that is going to be the end of the trade anyway. And for example, if we broke out of this low now, then that's going to be a bit of a shame, because I think price would likely then continue to the downside. Now, obviously, this candle is flipping bullish. If we can flip above this high, we've got a fair value gap here that still needs to get taken out. We've also got fair value gaps here and one large one up here. Then that's going to be fantastic. So our stop would go to here, and that would be only an 8 pip stop, and that would be then a 7.28 risk to reward ratio, which would be very nice. So I'm just going to see how this plays out, and then I'm probably going to make my decision in a second whether I do that. I think actually I'm going to do that now, because even if we do break down below this low now, then it's likely the price is going to continue to the downside anyway, and that's not what we want, obviously. So you know, we're protecting our capital where we can, and yeah, so now we've got our stop loss below here. We've been given a good reason to put it there, and now we can feel a little bit more comfortable that if we do lose, it's not a big deal. If we do win, it's a big deal. So let's see. Okay, so that candle has broken above the high there, which is a great sign. And in this normal situation, if I was just taking this setup, I'd be going for something that looks a little bit like this, and then we go for a 1 to 2, which is going to take us up to this area here. So I can look potentially now to move my first TP up to this zone, because that would be my usual take profit for this setup anyway. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Just for another example, we've got another one here. Okay, bearish. This is going the other way, obviously. Bearish move, bullish indecision candle, respected the high, broke out the low, and then if you look, if we went for our 1 to 2. Okay, obviously we would have made that pretty swiftly as price just fell down into that area. Let's see if I can find another example. There's another one right here. Okay, bearish move, bullish indecision, closed, respected the high, broke out the low, and if we were going to go for our 1 to 2, which is going to be something that looks a little like this, you can see that we would have easily also cracked that out as well. So now we're going the other way, and obviously our bearish is bullish, because we have our daily candle, which is flipped bullish again after creating this bottom wick, which is the last wick to create, okay, or the most recent one. We've then closed on the 30-minute back inside to the Asia range. We have liquidity above these highs, and also my bias for the yen is bullish overall. So looking good so far, into a nice bit of profit now, considering, remember our entry is actually down here. So yeah, first TP is going to be up at this point, or around there, whenever I feel comfortable to take something, and then we can let a runner run potentially for the rest of the day. So let's see how it goes. Alright, so it's been a little bit, and as you can see, we're pushed up quite nicely. This area has not held. We've actually closed above there, which for me is an invalidation of this supply zone. So we're looking for price now to continue to the upside. I think we're just going to sort of hover around here for a little bit. We are due a pullback, which is always just a little bit of a thought of mine. Like, I could have taken price out here for a really nice amount. Our trade out here for a really nice amount, but I'm going to keep holding, and I think we are going to continue to the upside here, as we've already sort of planned. So yeah, just going to keep on holding and see how it goes. Alright then guys, and just as I was walking out the house, I just thought I'd jump on here. I just got an alert to say our first TP has been hit, so I've taken our 80% out there. Stop loss is now at 82300, which is around this area here. So we are locked into profit there as well, and if we can continue up for the rest of the afternoon, then that is fantastic. But our first TP has been taken, and we brought our stop loss into profit, so we are win-win in whatever situation that happens. So when I get back to the computer later, I will jump back on and show you the result about 8 o'clock this evening. Okay guys, so back in from my meetings, and as you can see, we have now smashed our final TP. As you saw from the clip I took just as I was walking to my meetings, we hit our first TP at this point, and then after that I brought my stop actually underneath at, it was 341, so 182, 341 somewhere, and just let that run, and it took full TP just a second ago. So a nice 59 pips taken in total, a nice half of that basically for our first TP, and a beautiful trade. Within there as well, we've got some more of those setups we like to see, that price action setup. We've got one there and one there as well, which show continuation of the trade, and I can see us now heading up to take buy-side liquidity off the top of the Asia highs. So fantastic little trade there, very low risk. Overall, in the end, it was a 6.78 risk to reward, which I'm very happy with. So, going to leave the video there. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support, especially on the last video and all the videos, to be honest. Thank you so much. You guys are rad. And yeah, I'm done for the day today, and we'll move on to tomorrow. So, check the links below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.